You ever have one of those mornings where you wake up thinking everything's fine, just your average Tuesday, and then bam, before you know it, your entire life's flipped upside down? That was me not even a week ago. I just rolled out of bed, bleary-eyed, coffee in one hand, keys in the other, all set to take my Dodge Demon out for a spin. The car I spent years dreaming about scraping together every dollar to make it mine. You know what I mean? That roar when you turn the key, the way it just shimmers under the streetlight like it's daring the world to try something. I parked it right in my driveway, pride of the whole block, thinking nothing could touch it. So picture this, I'm walking outside, that first hit of morning air, ready for my little slice of happiness, and my heart just stops. My driveway's empty. I mean, empty. For a second, I'm just standing there thinking, maybe I parked it around the corner, maybe I left the keys somewhere dumb, but no, it's gone. That sick, sinking feeling, it grabs you by the stomach and just twists. I must have whispered, no, 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 like 10 times, scanning up and down the street, convincing myself this was all just some mistake. Of course, panic kicks in, right? Thieves, maybe it got towed, or hell, maybe the universe is just playing a cruel joke. But deep down, I had this feeling, that kind of thing. It's always someone you know. So I called my neighbor, hands shaking, voice barely steady, hoping someone saw something. And that's when the memory hits a few days earlier. Mrs. Henderson, the neighborhood's own HOA. Karen had mentioned something about her son borrowing cool cars around the block. She said it with this smirk that could sour milk. My gut was screaming at me. And right on cue, because the universe has a sense of irony, my car comes tearing around the corner. My car, my baby matte black finish custom decals. And there, in the driver's seat, is Mrs. Henderson's son, just grinning. Like this is some video game, and he's got unlimited lives. I started yelling his name, waving my arms, desperate for him to stop. But what does he do? He floors it. Tires screech, engine howling, and I'm running after my own car like some kind of lunatic. Now here's where I did something stupid or brave, depending on who you ask. I jumped onto the passenger side, grabbed the frame, screaming at him to pull over. Chaos erupts. Dogs are barking, neighbors poking their heads out, kids screaming. In the blur, I yanked the wheel, hoping to bring the car to a stop, only it spun out, fishtailing across lawns, slamming through a mailbox, crunching into a tree. It was over in seconds, the whole world spinning and crashing to a halt. My Dodge Demon, my pride wrecked beyond repair. I could smell the rubber feel, the heat off the hood, hear the metal still ticking. Then, sirens. Blue and red lights flicker through the chaos, painting the whole mess in this wild, almost cinematic glow. And before I know what's happening, the cops are pulling me out of the wreck, slapping handcuffs on my wrists. I'm standing there, heart pounding, adrenaline still flooding my system, and I realize they're treating me like I'm the bad guy. I try to explain, try to say, "Officer, it's my car. He stole it. I was just trying to stop him," but I sound crazy even to myself. The neighbors gather, whispering, some of them recording on their phones, and there's Mrs. Henderson, arms crossed, that smug little smile, not even budging. The officer's got this tired look, tells me, "Sir, you need to come with us. We'll sort this out at the station." And all I can think is, how do I make them see the truth? This wasn't just a joyride gone wrong. This was my whole life being ripped apart by the HOA's favorite family. At the station, it's even worse. Booking fingerprints, mugshot, the whole 9 yards. I catch my own face on the booking camera and just think, great, this is how people will remember me. Hours pass every minute, grinding my nerves. I keep repeating my story, hoping someone, anyone, will believe me. But Mrs. Henderson's already at work making calls, spinning her version, the kind that gets people off the hook in neighborhoods like ours. Finally, an officer pulls me aside, kind of leans in, says, "They need to get statements, but the case is messy. You've got a very protective mother involved." I nearly laugh. Protective. This is Karen-level warfare, and I'm the one in cuffs. When I get out, my Dodge Demon's towed off, my hands are still raw from the cuffs, and the reality hits Mrs. Henderson isn't done. Her son sure isn't done. The real battle's just getting started. The very next morning, there's a knock at my door, sharp, insistent. And there she is. Mrs. Henderson herself, sunglasses on hair, perfect, lips pursed. Her son's trailing behind, fake busy on his phone, but you can see the guilt in his eyes. "You've caused quite the scene," she says, voice sweet as poison. "We need to discuss what happened with our car." Our car. Can you believe that? My car destroyed, and she's acting like it's a shared inconvenience. I kept my cool. I told her slow and clear, "I didn't give your son permission. He stole it, crashed it, and now you're standing here demanding what an apology." For the first time, her smile slips. She tries to laugh it off. "Kids make mistakes. Accidents happen. Surely you can understand." Understand, I could have burst out laughing. My dream car totaled, and she's brushing it off like a spilled latte. So I lean in, lower my voice, and let her know I could have been seriously hurt. This isn't about some accident. If anyone else's kid had done what hers did, they'd be behind bars. And yet here she is, twisting the story, playing the victim. She tries to recover, pulling out her phone, probably dialing up her little HOA army to back her up. I realized then that this fight wasn't just about me or my car. It was about standing up to a whole system built on entitlement. The days after that, man, they felt like living inside a pressure cooker. Emails from the HOA, calls from Mrs. Henderson, veiled threats, dressed up as concerned neighborly advice. But I wasn't letting this slide. Not this time. I found myself a lawyer, someone who's seen every flavor of HOA drama. I told him everything, the theft, the crash, the police mess, the way Mrs. Henderson was pulling strings. He leans back in his chair, tells me, "You've got a strong case, evidence, witnesses, police reports. But brace yourself. These people fight dirty." And I was ready. I just wanted the truth out. On the day of the legal showdown, the whole crew shows up. Mrs. Henderson, her son, half the HOA board. You could cut the tension in that room with a knife. Her son's sitting there not looking at anyone, and as I lay out the story, I see a change in him. The kid's caught up in something way bigger than he realized. I stick to the facts, how he took my car, drove it like a maniac, destroyed it. I don't exaggerate a thing. Then out of nowhere, the twist. Her son speaks up. "Mom, I messed up," he says, voice shaking. "I shouldn't have taken the car. I crashed it." He didn't do anything wrong. You could hear a pin drop. Mrs. Henderson's face goes white. Just like that, her whole story unravels. The lawyers present all the evidence, photos of the wreck, witness statements, the cops report. With every piece, Mrs. Henderson's wall crumbles. In the end, the settlement's clear. She pays for the damages. Her son faces real consequences, and I finally get some closure. Walking out of that meeting, sunlight warm on my face, I felt it justice. Not the clean, easy kind you see on TV, but the hard-fought, complicated kind that actually means something. My Dodge Demon was gone, yeah, but what I gained was bigger, a reminder to never back down when you know you're right, even when the whole block's lined up against you. So let me ask you, if your car got stolen and wrecked by the HOA president's kid, what would you have done? Would you have fought back or just let it slide? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear every wild detail. And hey, if you think that Karen went way too far, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe, because trust me, next time the story's going to be even crazier.